slapped the man holding me, but my arms were pinned down to my sides. Just as the edges of my vision started darkening, my feet hit the ground once again on the guy's downward drive, and the candy went shooting out onto the hardwood floor. I started gasping wildly, but no one seemed to notice. "You're going to kill her, you idiot! Stop it! Stop!" Taylor continued to scream, her hands still hitting the massive man holding me. "Stop," I whispered hoarsely. "Stop! Stop!"
"It's out, man, stop!"
a deep voice yelled from somewhere in front of me.
"Stop!"
I yelled one last time as my legs hit the floor. Before I knew it, I was going up in the air again, and my second shoe went flying off. "Rory!" Taylor screamed as the guy behind me finally set me down and forced me to lay on the floor. "Rory, talk to me." I looked over at Taylor to find huge tears streaming down her face. "I'm okay," I assured her, my voice still rough from having the Jolly Rancher lodged in my throat.
Girl, are you okay?"
I jerked against the floor at the booming voice as a massive, mostly naked guy entered my vision. Tidy whities, shoes, and a football helmet. Nothing else. I nodded, unable to say anything as I tried to get the image of him out of my head, even though he was still standing right there.
"I saved your life!"
He stood up and lifted his arms in victory, and I covered my face to block things I didn't want to see.
"I just saved her life!"
There were loud cheers throughout the house, and the music turned on suddenly, making me jump again. I wasn't sure when they'd turned it off, but knowing that my choking on unusually large candy had stopped a party had my panic subsiding and my mortification kicking in. "You scared the shit out of me," Taylor sobbed.
"Excuse me, Cinderella?"
A deep voice called next to my ear. Cinderella? I removed my hand from my face to look at the guy who belonged to that voice, then quickly pushed myself up onto my elbows when I took in his face, so close to mine. My cheeks burned with embarrassed heat, but I didn't know how to look away from him. Despite a large red mark on his forehead, his face was flawless and masculine, with a strong brow and nose, a smirk I knew would have made my knees weak if I had been standing, and a lethal stare from green eyes so clear it was as if I could see through the iris. My gaze had become so fixated on the way his lips moved that it took a few seconds too long to realize he'd said something. "I'm sorry, what?" The smirk broadened for a brief moment, giving me a glimpse of straight white teeth. He leaned over to me until his lips were at my ear, and if I'd had the capability to breathe around him, I would have stopped then.
"I think you lost this,"
he drawled, and I swooned. Literally swooned, as in all the air left my body in one hard rush, and I was unable to keep myself up on my elbows any longer. My head felt light and dizzy, the room spun, and I was pretty sure I'd just entered a romance novel. It really didn't matter that it was from the lingering effects of nearly choking to death, and then unknowingly holding my breath for too long.
"Whoa."
He quickly put a hand under my head before it could smack on the hardwood floor. "I'm fine," I said breathlessly, and internally berated myself for doing everything imaginable to look like an idiot tonight. I tried to sit up, but the guy was still hovering over me, making it impossible to go farther than I'd been.
"Are you sure you're okay?"
"Yes," I promised, and blew out a steadying breath when he sat back.
"Good. I can't have you passing out on me, Cinderella."
My head shook firmly as I corrected him. "No, my name is Rory." With another slow smirk, he gestured to the red mark on his forehead for barely a second, then reached behind him and produced my stiletto. My embarrassment from earlier couldn't compare to the level it was then as I put it all together. My shoe had flown into his face. "Oh my God," I whispered so low, the words drifted away with the bass of the music. "I'm so